No, I think we more or less agree, but like what's flavoring or tainting your opinion just a little bit is your isolation. No, Taylor, is your is how much you hate us being potentially involved, how much you dislike Israel for taking all of our money from us, and how much you don't want any involvement with Iran.
Yes,
and I can sympathize with all of that, but I always thought of Iran as like a bully, and they seem to if you like appease them or if you ignore them, they just seem to get more aggressive, take a scarier stance. And I've just never heard them be like, the Americans have been nice to us for the last 5 years. Maybe we'll get over it. No, they just. So I like that Israel's constantly killing their scientists. Like it doesn't get reported much anymore. Their scientists and their generals. After Soleimani, Trump took out Soleimani. He was supposed to be the person you couldn't touch, this Iranian general. Trump blew him the fuck up. And there wasn't much of a kickback from Iran. They shelled one of our bases and some people got concussions. Yeah. That was the response. After that, Israel got brazen. They were like, oh, really? They'll just take it, huh? See, Israel's a bully too. And they saw that Iran had a little bitch in their blood. Yeah. So you know what they did? They went to it used to be the Shah of Iran's palace. It's this pretty cool palace near a ski resort that was that's near Tehran. And it's now the Revolutionary Guard like palace or something like that. One of their higher up generals, I can picture his face. He looks like Santa Claus with a crew cut, was staying there as like a guest. They put a bomb under his bed and they climbed a tree outside and they waited till he turned out the lights, counted 10 and blew him up in their own building, like the most secure possible building in Iran. And they paid 2 Iranian guards off enough money, enough shekels to, and they got him into the West, I'm sure too. Put a bomb under his bed and wait. Look, I think Iran's the bad guys. I don't think Israel's the good guys though. And I think that as long as we don't have American boots on the ground anywhere near that area of the world, I'm happy to see them like Israel shit on them left and right.
Yeah.
I would
don't
love
care
to watch
what Israel...
World's Most Dangerous Jobs and see them go through the list of like Bering Strait crab fishermen, Pacific Northwest logger, Iranian nuclear scientist topping the list is the greatest death per
That's what
employee.
That's what that guy was. He was that. I'm glad you said it. That's what he was. I think he was a nuclear scientist. I'm pretty sure he was. They kill those guys all. Oh, here's how they killed the nuclear scientist. Now I remember. Dude, they sent a truck and a machine gun piece by piece into Iran in like innocuous shipments. Then those pieces were assembled all together and placed by a road. When the bad guy, the Iranian
a truck with one of these things? They sent a truck piece by piece? Okay.
All the pieces. And so when the bad guy drove past, the gunner looks through his sight, takes careful aim, and he opens up with a belt-fed 308 machine gun, annihilating the whole convoy. Then the truck explodes into so many pieces, they can't even tell what was there because the sniper was in another fucking country operating a remote-controlled robot machine gun hidden in the back of a truck that's tailgate flopped open at the last minute.
Cool. Walter White did something like that.
Yeah, they did in 2020. Yeah, they saw Breaking Bad.
They stole the idea. I think Walter White did it first.
They did.
I think Israel doesn't care when like their plots get shown. I hope that our CIA is even fucking cooler. I hope they're even cooler. I hope they do. All right, here's another one that the Israelis did. They got caught this time. So what they would do, because they can't just print passports like we can. We can print an American passport, write whatever we want on it, give it to a CIA guy, and he's got a new identity to cruise the world, no questions asked. It's an American passport. Israeli passports don't work like that. So they got to go to their dual citizenship citizens. Hey, you're Israeli and Australian. Would you let the government borrow your passport? We'll give it back. We're going to use it for the betterment of the country, for national security, etc. And these people say, yeah, I guess. Well, they used those passports. They gave them to agents who looked enough like them, I guess. And they sent them to, is it Abu Dhabi? They sent them to a Middle Eastern country to assassinate an Iranian. And it's all on CCTV. That's the problem. They're stalking him. A dozen agents stalking him, just like an Ocean's 11 movie. They got disguises. They got tennis rackets, like sliding in the elevator with them, like they're tennis playing, like hotel guests. Then later on, the same guy has like a bald cap and a suit on walking around. It's like, that's the same guy. They followed him to his room, found out where he was staying. Then they attacked him, used what was described as an ultrasonic device to stop his heart, took his clothes off, put him in his bed, and left.
How close do you have to be for the ultrasonic device to work?
Dude, they were so vague about what the fuck they meant by an ultrasonic device. What I think they did is they held him
just
down and
defibrillate some guy who wasn't.
That's not an ultrasonic device. They did something else to him that leaves.
Oh, I was meaning like they were like post fact trying to be like, oh yeah, we have this brand new device, gives you a heart attack with a gun, and really they're like holding him down. He's like, I'm gonna defibrillate this motherfucker. And then
well, the CIA had a heart attack gun like 50 years ago. They're just shooting icy toxins at you or some shit like that. But they used some sort of a device to kill this guy that leaves no marks, that I guess you push to his body and stop his heart with ultrasonic sound or something. That's what it sounded like they were describing. Tucked him into his bed and made it look like he had died in his sleep. But then they looked at the CCTV and they say, wait a minute, that guy who died in his sleep, he was being stalked by Israelis all day. But
there's a lot of curly hair in this CCTV. But now a lot of sideburns.
But the passport holders are the ones who are getting called out globally. There's this map that of like people's like passport photos and lines of them traversing Israel back to Abu Dhabi, back to Israel, and like making this loop where they killed him. And there's this grand conspiracy exposed. And then they interviewed like this poor Australian guy. He's like, yes, for me passport. Didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah. And so they told me what was up, and I said, "Oy vey." You know?
Yeah, I'm just really impressed by that Israeli intelligence apparatus. That this is one of the wildest, most James Bond-esque coups I've ever even heard of.
It's right where there's that
good ones.
CIA computer virus that
Stuxnet
unbalanced the centrifuges.
Yeah, the worm was called Stuxnet, I think. And it was an Israeli and American partnership to deal with a centrifuge that was underground, cut off from any wiring, any internet cabling at all. How do you infect that centrifuge with this thing that makes it spin a little bit faster, a little bit slower, thereby destroying it over a long-term period? And by the way, centrifuge is separating weapons grade uranium from regular uranium, right? It's getting 235 out of and getting rid of the 237, 238. So it was a bad place. But what happened was they got it on a thumb drive. No. They infected the whole global internet.
Yeah, they infected basically every computer on Earth, but didn't do anything negative. And then somehow, some way, this thing found its way to the Iranian computer, and they were like, "Well, I mean, I bet every computer has it by now." And they activated it, and boom, it set their nuclear program back for years. So
we lost your audio, Kyle.
No,
lost that.
Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I guess things can be both cool and horrible.
Yeah, like nuclear bombs.
Like nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Just don't want. I am fearful Hezbollah will retaliate, and then everything will keep ratcheting up. And
why would you think that?
Well, because they seem to. Every time something like this happens, they'll respond, and then Israel responds, and then they respond, and this eventually it'll hit a pitch. Yeah, no, they've been at this like cold becoming hot war for a long time,
almost 1 year now.
If there's
almost 2,000
I fear
years.
That if there's if there's a situation where boots on the ground is needed, it's going to be American troops that have to do it, and I don't want that.
I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna need boots on the ground. I think we got plenty of pagers, cell phones, walkie-talkies, smoke signals, birds, fucking glyphs, like whatever. This is cool, and I'm enjoying watching it. Bad guys are losing, good guys are winning, and it's not. It's never.
There
black
are no
and white.
good guys.
Yeah, we're the good guys in this conflict, man.
Trust me, we're the good guys. All right, because we live here. All right, the good old
because they're over there. Because we've got trees and sunshine.
They hate our freedom. That's what this is all about, Taylor.
Yes. Oh my
Osama bin Laden was like, I cannot abide them voting, and then that's why he did it.
Yeah,
that's
like, I remember like being young after that and like not understanding what that meant when I would hear adults say like they hate us for our freedom. I'm like, they shouldn't dwell on it that much if they're so if they're so upset that I can go buy a lunchly, then and they can't. They shouldn't dwell on it.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of freedom is lunchly and Prime.
Yeah, I have a right to eat as much lead or as little lead as I choose.
Yeah, should know how much lead you're eating.